Hello and welcome to State of Events. I'm Haley Vetterline.
And I'm Anton Luchtel.
A large protest took place last week regarding one of San Francisco's busiest Muni lines. State of Events reporter Michael Overby has the details.
The El Taraval transit line has come under political fire recently. The line, which sees an average ridership of 28,000 per day, many of which are students and seniors, may be expanding. While the line is expansive, it is the citizens of the Sunset that deal with its above-ground lines, where its problems literally come to surface.
We have had 22 incidents over 5 years, no fatalities, stretching from the beach to West Portal.
In an effort to bolster its safety and increase effectiveness, Muni has proposed a reconstruction of the line.
Some of the things that we're doing include adding boarding islands or putting in safety measures for people who get on and off the train, and also we're working to make Muni more reliable on the corridor.
These developments have been met with hesitation by local residents, who claim that this expansion is actually leaving them worse off than before.
I have degenerative arthritis in my hands. I cannot carry 2 bags of groceries 4 blocks walking with a cane in order to catch the train.
It's so ridiculous that I can't believe these people don't have any common sense, that you can see that it's wrong.
The construction of additional islands on Taraval will remove certain stops that seniors rely on for their everyday lives.
And even though they say they're going to reallocate the parking around the corners, who's going to walk 1 or 2 blocks to your business to carry a piece of metal or a broken, part?
Last Wednesday, a public forum was held at Diane Feinstein Elementary in the Sunset. Here, locals were able to voice their opinion on the construction of the new line, but it seemed as if no possible conclusion was reached.
We've reached the end of the line here on the L, but it seems as if there is quite a bit to go on its expansion developments. So stay tuned for further updates. Here in San Francisco, this is Michael Overby, State of Events.
SF State students have found a way to save money on transportation. Lindsay Regis has the latest updates.
Muni is looking to increase Muni fare by 25 cents. On top of housing, tuition, and textbooks, many students are not in favor of higher commuting costs. The SF State student government has worked with Muni and BART to lower costs for students.
Within that fee, they get a pass that is Muni for the whole for all semesters, as well as a discount on BART.
If this passes, all students' tuition will raise to $180 a semester for unlimited Muni rides. BART also agreed to offer a 25% discount to and from the Daly City station.
I think it's a great cause. I mean, if they could do it, it would definitely help me out a lot.
Josh Chung spends over $13 a day to commute to Fremont and back. One Facebook post shows that plenty of commuters are in favor of this idea. However, a handful of students do not believe this is beneficial to them.
I don't think that they should put the $180 in SF State tuition, because if people like myself don't commute, why should we have to pay for extra for everyone else?
Victoria says she lives close to campus to avoid paying Muni every day.
The SF State student government encourages students to voice their opinion. A voting poll will be held on campus this April. Reporting in San Francisco, I'm Lindsay Regis, State of Events.
A Valentine's date last week almost turned deadly for a Fresno couple. Jessica Acosta and Robert Torres were visiting Twin Peaks when they heard gunshots ring out. Jessica describes the scene as horrifying, saying the gunman pointed his pistol directly at her boyfriend. The couple barely escaped the vehicle when the gunman hopped in and sped off, hitting another car on his way out. The suspect killed 2 people moments earlier and has since been booked on murder, attempted murder, and carjacking.
Should weapons be allowed on college campuses? That's the question buzzing around San Mateo Community College. The Board of Trustees is reviewing a policy to allow campus police to be armed. The campus police officers currently carry pepper spray and a baton. Soon, however, trustees may vote to arm each officer with a gun. If approved, each officer will undergo a psychological assessment, a more thorough background check, and rigorous training.
A South San Francisco elementary school was on lockdown last week after a suspect was reported threatening kids with a knife. Police have limited information as it is an ongoing investigation. The South San Francisco School District is facing public criticism after they took over 2 hours to notify the parents of Monteverde Elementary students. One parent was furious with the school, saying they exercised very poor communication, adding she feels that this is something that needs to be addressed.
Coming up after the break, find out which country has just invented a $33 smartphone.
And we'll have more details on the shock to the Catholic Church after controversial comments from the Pope. Stay tuned.
At first, I was a bit hesitant to try it.
To tell you the truth, I didn't think I'd fit in. But I kept pushing her and she ended up loving it.
I was surprised. It was an amazing experience.
And now we do it at least twice a month.
I've even gotten most of my friends to do it.
If you do it enough, you can get a great deal on the price.
Why didn't we think of this before?
It's a stimulating experience.
The Z-Space Studio.
Word for word.
Z-Space Studio, word for word, stimulation guaranteed. See you at the theater.
Energy costs for small businesses rose over 40% in 2001. Stop wasting your money. Let the Smart Lights program help you. Call us today at 510-981-8955 or visit our website at smartlights.org. Smart Lights. Brighten your bottom line.
A 5-year undercover corruption investigation of former state senator Leland Yee ends this week. U.S. District Judge Charles Breyer will sentence Yee tomorrow. Yee pleaded guilty before Judge Breyer back in July. Yee confessed to accepting bribes from undercover agents posing as campaign contributors in exchange for votes on legislation. Also pleading guilty to the racketeering conspiracy was Keith Jackson, Yee's political consultant and a former San Francisco school board president. There is now a vacant seat in the Supreme Court. Justice Antonin Scalia was found dead at a resort in Texas 2 weeks ago. The 79-year-old was the longest-serving member on the current bench. His funeral took place last Saturday in Washington, D.C. Thousands attended. President Barack Obama says he did plan to nominate a successor for Scalia. He says the U.S. Senate should give the nominee a fair hearing and careful consideration. However, Republicans in the Supreme Court say they would oppose any attempt by Obama to nominate a new justice. They believe that the decision should be left to the next president. That will leave Scalia's seat empty for 11 months.
Another Donald Trump victory, another candidate drops out of the presidential race. Trump rolled to a victory in the South Carolina primary, prompting Jeb Bush to wave the white flag and withdraw from the race. Bush left the race, saying the next president must be one that would serve with, quote, honor and decency. Meanwhile, Trump celebrated with a ruckus crowd giving praise to the other candidates, while also showing how much he loves winning. Trump's larger-than-life aura has solidified his position as a Republican frontrunner as he looks to capture another victory in the Nevada caucus tonight.
Now, let's check in with Kasha and take a look at our world update.
Thank you, Haley. The Catholic world has been in a little bit of shock recently as Pope Francis hinted at relaxation of contraception. The Pope indicated contraceptives may be used to prevent the spread of the Zika virus. Despite the Church's long-standing ban on most forms of birth control, Pope said that avoiding pregnancy is not an absolute evil in certain cases. The Pope was asked about women aborting fetuses infected with Zika during his return trip from Mexico. The virus has been linked to devastating birth defects. It is not clear yet to what extent Zika may affect pregnancy. Poland's History Institute says that recently discovered documents suggest Lech Wałęsa was a paid communist informant. Wałęsa was the president of Poland from 1990 to 1995. He was also the leader of the Solidarity trade union, the first free union in the Soviet bloc. Wałęsa received the Nobel Peace Prize for his role in Solidarity and is still admired by many Poles for his fight against communism. Wałęsa has repeatedly denied any collaboration with the communist government. The newly discovered documents are yet to be analyzed. Last week, Austria set its own asylum cap amidst the European refugee crisis. Now, Amnesty International accused Austria of violating human rights. The Austrian government is saying that all actions taken are within the law. But many members of the European Union expressed their anger about these actions, claiming Austria is acting unlawfully. Austria's leaders are saying they will only process up to 80 asylum requests a day due to lack of solidarity of other European countries, which do not want to accept any refugees at all. This is it for today's World Update. I'm Kasia Pieruk. Back to you in the studio, Haley.
An 18-year-old teenager is in jail after impersonating a doctor and examining real patients. Malachi Love Robinson, aka Dr. Love, allegedly gave physical exams and advice to his patients without a license. He opened his practice in West Palm Beach, Florida, where he signed the paperwork as Dr. Love. He was busted after an undercover officer got a blood pressure test from Robinson, which led to his arrest. Malachi Love Robinson is at Palm Beach County Jail pending a $6,000 bail.
A big battle is brewing between consumer privacy and public safety. A federal judge has ordered Apple to help the FBI unlock one of the phones used by the terrorists in the December 2nd San Bernardino attack. The FBI says it's a matter of national security and it needs information that could be stored on that phone. With Apple's help, the government could get to the bottom of the San Bernardino shooting. But Apple says the action would set a dangerous precedent and would threaten the security and privacy of their customers' phones. Building an unlocking system could allow law enforcement or hackers easy access to everyone's iPhone. Other Bay Area tech companies like Facebook, Google, and Twitter are standing by Apple's decisions. Startling images have been released by police to warn people about a potentially serious cell phone danger. The New York Police Department's 33rd Precinct recently tweeted photos of a burned bed and the remains of a charred cell phone. The phone apparently overheated, causing any bedding nearby to catch fire. While such combustion is relatively uncommon, phones can overheat when smothered by fabric and sometimes explode. The police warn users not to put cell phones under pillows when sleeping or charging the device. India has a $33 answer to the iPhone 6. It is called the Cloud FX, made by Intex. It's aimed at the hundreds of millions of Indians that can't afford smartphones. For less than 120th the cost of buying an iPhone 6, and without a contract, this phone offers a lot of the basics. It has a touchscreen, a camera, and even rounded corners that make it look like an iPhone. What makes this the cheapest phone in the world is the new Mozilla Firefox operating system. Manufacturers can make these smartphones cheaply since they don't have to pay for the operating system. This is a great start to what will hopefully become a race to create a cheaper smartphone here in the United States.
My life is out of control. I have no job, no health insurance, no support. I'm pregnant. I don't know how to handle all of this, but there's one thing I can do. Take care of this. It won't solve all my problems, but at least it'll make a difference. If I can do it, you can do it too.
Prenatal care makes a difference. 1-800-300-9950.
Coffee awakens all the senses, but only Fair Trade certified coffee awakens the sixth sense, the sense of fairness. Fair Trade certified coffees are bought directly from family farmers, guaranteeing them better incomes and strengthening their communities. Fair Trade certified. Taste fairness. Look for the label wherever you buy coffee.
It was a crazy scene with folks jumping straight into the freezing ocean here in San Francisco, but it's all for a great cause. Let's take a look at what happened. Freezing for a reason. Hundreds gathered for the 2015 Brave the Bay event hosted by the San Francisco Police Department in benefit of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Chief of Police Greg Sir told me helping others is the main reason why him and his officers do what they do.
You know, I don't know who said it. Somebody way smarter than me. You know, you always feel best when you're doing something for somebody else. That's what we signed up to do, to help people. So this is a situation where little ones, but for the grace of God, we could have gotten sick when we were kids. And so anything we can do to generate money for Make-A-Wish.
And that's exactly what they did, raising over $75,000, all in benefit of the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
The room temperature feels like it's heated. think everybody should come down and do it. And with God love Make-A-Wish.
It's for the kids.
Everything for the kids.
Event contestants paid a fee to participate in a 5K run, a plunge in the bay, and a cable car tug of war.
It's not that bad at all. Not that bad at all. It's pretty, pretty warm, actually.
You know what? It pales in comparison to the struggle our wish kids go through. So one moment of cold is all good if it raises money.
And there you have it, a great cause. I spoke to one of the event coordinators, and he expects this event to only get bigger from here. If you would like to get involved, go to makeawish.org. They could use your support. Back to you guys.
Professional boxer and Filipino Congressman Manny Pacquiao is under fire for homophobic comments he made to a local network, TV5. Pacquiao said, "Do you see animals mating with the same sex? Animals are better because they can distinguish male from female. If men mate with men and women mate with women, they are worse than animals." Nike has responded to Pacquiao by pulling his lucrative contract, calling his comments abhorrent. Pacquiao is currently running for one of the 24 Senate seats in the Philippines. The Warriors introduced their newest player last night, but it was the Steph Curry show. Victor Anguiano joins us with the details.
Thanks, Anton. So the Warriors signed former Cavs center Anderson Varejao off the waivers. Cleveland traded the 6'10 center for Channing Frye from Orlando, sending Anderson to Portland. And on Sunday, Portland released him, and the Dubs signed him for the rest of the season. In return, the Warriors had to release Jason Thompson to make room for the Brazilian. The 12-year vet played his entire career with the Cavaliers since being drafted in 2004. The current NBA champs picked up Varejao due to Andrew Bogut not being at full strength and Festus Ezeli being out at least 6 weeks. And now to the game. Last night, the Warriors were at Atlanta, and guess who? Varejao was there, but the guy that took the show was Steph Curry. In the first quarter, Curry dishes it out to Barnes for the triple to extend the lead 14-6. Warriors midway through the third. Bogut, with his nifty pass between the legs, sets up who else? The MVP for the easy two. And it looked like it was going to be a Warriors show until Al Horford's jam helps the Hawks rally back into the fourth quarter. But in the late, guess who again? It was Steph Curry, who, by the way, scored a team high of 36 points. The Warriors go on to win 102-92. They are the first team in NBA history to reach 50 games in the least amount of games. And as for the Giants and A's, they are getting ready for the 2016-2017 season. The new and improved Giants, they started the spring training earlier than the A's this year, and the 2014 World Series champs had their first full team workout today in Arizona, while the A's are moving much slower and will be practicing with the entire squad this Friday. And if you're a soccer fan, you must be excited because there's a lot of soccer going on this summer in the Bay Area. Avaya Stadium will be the home of the 2016 MLS All-Star Game this summer. This will be the first time in more than 10 years the All-Star Game returns to the Bay. The MLS All-Stars will square off against English Premier League giants FC Arsenal. The game is scheduled to take place on July 28th at Avaya. Tickets will go on sale next month.
Before City Car Share, we were spending a lot of money on gas and insurance. I felt like I had to check my bank account every time I went driving.
City Car Share is great because the membership includes insurance and a gas card. I don't even know why we owned a car in the Bay Area.
Now we just have more money to spend on other things.
City Car Share is an important part of our lives.
City Car Share gives you the benefits of using a car
without the hassles of owning one.
Hello, my name's Penny. I think people shouldn't do drugs. They can make you forget things, like which animals have stripes. Anybody might get clumsier, so you can't jump rope as good. Drugs can get you in big trouble. You could go to principal's office or go to jail. Then you can't watch TV or eat pizza. Recess is good. Hamsters are good. Birthday parties are real good. Drugs are bad. I wouldn't do drugs.
Kendrick Lamar proved to be the star of the Grammys with 11 nominations and 5 victories. But it was his courageous performance that got people talking. Kendrick began by walking out in chains and rapping, "You hate me, don't you? You hate my people. Your plan is to terminate my culture." The performance was backed by numerous celebrities who praised Kendrick on his bravery. The White House also showed support by tweeting, "Shout out to Kendrick Lamar and all the artists at the Grammys working to build a brighter future."
In other Hollywood news, Kanye is broke. Kanye tweeted, "I write this to you, my brothers, while still $53 million in personal debt."
Kanye's reportedly in this mountain of debt because of his extremely popular clothing line, Yeezy, which I guess isn't all that popular. He makes cool merchandise. I've seen his Yeezys. I can see why people would want them, so I can't understand how a millionaire is actually that far in debt. Where was the return? Now he needs more money to invest in more genius ideas that he mapped out in his Donda chart. It was also reported that his wife, Kim Kardashian, is reportedly worth $85 million. Maybe get her to help you instead of asking Mark Zuckerberg to invest $1 billion in your genius ideas. Because I feel like reaching out to the CEO of Facebook on Twitter isn't going to work out too well. What utter BS. And in more serious news, Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia passed away peacefully in his sleep at a Texas ranch on February 13th. His death has shocked the political establishment and has set off a debate over a new nomination. Prominent Republicans are questioning whether President Obama should even be allowed to nominate a successor during his last year of his presidency. Now, it is painfully obvious why conservatives want to leave the responsibility to the next president. With 8 justices currently serving, Scalia's successor would be the ultimate tiebreaker. Because high-profile cases such as Obamacare and equal marriage were declared constitutional last year, conservatives see this as a do-or-die moment to see their values represented in the Supreme Court. Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution says that the president shall nominate and by and with the advice and consent of the Senate shall appoint ambassadors, other public ministers and consuls, judges of the Supreme Court, and other officers of the United States. I can't find a clause in there that says, except when there is a year left in the term of the current president. And here's what makes this really BS. Senate Republicans have the right to reject any candidate that President Obama nominates because it will be on the advice and consent of the Senate. And they will only be doing this in the hopes that a Republican will become the 45th president. What if either Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders gets elected? What then? Republicans know that they won't be able to keep rejecting nominees, but it almost seems as though they would rather have 8 instead of 9 justices, at least for the time being. Our political system is as fractured as ever. Neither party wants to compromise on any issue. You would think the death of an important political figure would at least bring the parties together to work and find a successor. But I suppose that's asking for too much, and that's BS.
Mount Shasta is falling apart, and Ace Prado joins us with an update in this week's weather forecast.
Emergency workers are worried about a glacier in Mount Shasta because the recurring warm temperatures. Tom Steenstra has observed California's weather pattern for the past few decades. He explains that due to the sublimate melting underneath the glaciers, it can destroy the entire watershed system by creating something like mud or quicksand. The substance is approximately 8 feet deep, which measures 15 miles. The mudslide could destroy California's landscape instantly. In the meantime, it's going to be warm for the entire week and it's going to stay warm. For the next few days, temperatures in the Bay Area are going to increase into the mid-upper 70s, 74 degrees in San Jose, 70 in San Francisco. Here's the 7-day forecast. The Bay has having fantastic weather until Thursday. On the weekend, temperatures are going to drop to the mid-60s with a chance of rain.
So back to Kanye. Do you guys listen to Kanye at all?
I don't.
No, I don't.
Hopefully he gets that money, though.
Hey, dude is crazy now, so I know. Whatever.
That's all the news we have for you today. Thank you for watching State of Events.
And tune in next week for more of the latest news.